What's he supposed to do?
I really don't know.
What is he supposed to do there?
I think it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
I mean,
it's football. It's absurd.
I mean, I understand that if you hit a guy low in the passing posture, totally get it. But, man, just driving to the ground, landing on top with all your body weight.
Puts his arm up. He's trying to knock down the pass. He wraps him up. What's he supposed to do? Not take him to the ground?
That was Sean McDonough and Greg McElroy on the call during yesterday's game between Notre Dame and Navy. Now, as you just heard, it is now illegal in college football, and the NFL for that matter, to sack the quarterback. They might as well put red jerseys on these quarterbacks with two little prissy flags hanging on their waist. Hell, while we're at it, let's go ahead and put quarterbacks in thongs, maybe a tuck-friendly bathing suit. Hell, put them on the damn field in a tutu. God forbid a quarterback gets hit in a game that used to be all about physicality, a game that used to be all about toughness, a game that used to be a place where only the strong survived. The mainstream media, deacons at Woke United Methodist, they are destroying football at both the college and the NFL level. Sports often mimic society. What we see on the field, what we see on the court, it is a microcosm of current American culture. And right now, American culture, it is soft. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. If you happen to stumble across this video, be sure to check out my main channel, Behind the Line. Search Behind the Line here on YouTube. Should be the first channel that comes up. Lately, I have noticed myself becoming the get off my lawn guy. I've noticed myself becoming the aggravated dude in the neighborhood who constantly yells at the kids to stay off his grass. I thought it was refreshing to hear Sean McDonough and Greg McElroy having the courage to call out the overwhelming softness in college football. It's not very often that we hear someone at ESPN willing to call out anything, unless, of course, it's Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee is one of very few at ESPN who's willing to call out the bullshit. The other day, I am watching this pathetic segment on First Take where they're talking about Bronny James. Mad Dog Russo, Chris Russo, he is shitting all over the Bronny James spectacle. Chris Russo is now considered to be old school, which means he's willing to be honest. He's willing to speak his mind and not worry about your feelings. But as he was unloading on Bronny James and the spectacle that went along with it, the insufferable Molly Karam, she interrupts him with this sense of audacity that anyone actually gives a single fuck about what she has to say. Molly Karam interrupts him and says something to the effect of, "It was a special moment between father and son. It was so sweet. It was emotional. I want to cry just talking about it. Oh. Like I told you guys on the main channel the other day, from a fatherly perspective, I understand what LeBron James is doing, but from a competitive standpoint, I don't give a shit about Bronny James. Can he rebound? Can he make threes? Can he create offense for himself and his teammates? Is he a lockdown defender? Is he a two-way player? Is he qualified to play in the NBA? In the case of Bronny James, the answer to every question, no, which means his ass does not belong on an NBA court. Softness in this culture of victims, it is destroying everything that we love about sports. Look at what's going on right now in Philadelphia. We are 2 games into the NBA season, and Joel Embiid, he is essentially refusing to play. This dude's making $50 million a year to play basketball, and Joel Embiid is refusing to play basketball. Why? Well, basketball is dangerous. I could get hurt. Kawhi Leonard, He has been missing for what, 4 years now? Now, some people claim that Kawhi Leonard's already a first ballot Hall of Famer. And if we're talking about the Hall of Fame of victims, I completely agree. But you can't put that dude in the Hall of Fame because he refuses to play basketball. Expectations have become so low for NBA players. People were ecstatic last season when Zion Williamson played 70 games. This is amazing! Zion played 70 games this season. He exceeded expectations. The expectation is 82 games. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of it. I am tired of the softness. I am tired of watching millionaire athletes making hundreds of millions of dollars every year refusing to show up to work. I'm tired of watching a watered down product in the NFL and college football. Anytime a quarterback gets sacked in the NFL, what is the first thing the defender does? Back in the 90s and 2000s, he would celebrate. Not anymore. He looks around the field to see if there's a flag. I remember in the 90s, you could damn near clothesline a quarterback and not be penalized for it. I'm sure you guys remember the sports landscape in the 90s and 2000s. What did every league have in common back then? From the NFL to the NBA, NHL to Major League Baseball, what did they have in common? Every league was filled with tough men. Remember the UFC in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s? It was basically a street fight. Music, pop culture, movies, TV shows, everything in the 90s and 2000s, it was gritty. Everything was in your face. Because the culture of the 90s and 2000s, it was in your face. Well, KC, we have become a civilized society. We are a progressive culture. We have manners. We worry about the safety of our players and their feelings. It's much better this way. No, it sucks. If you're willing to accept millions of dollars to play football, you also have to be willing to accept the risk. At some point, you're probably going to get a concussion. Later in life, probably going to have health problems. But that's the risk you agreed to take when you signed the contract. Shouldn't be able to sign the contract, shouldn't be able to take the money, then turn around and sue the NFL because football is dangerous. They can't put you on the field in a protective bubble. If I walk through the woods with a stake around my neck and I get attacked by a bear, I can't be mad at the damn bear. He didn't knock on my front door and take the steak off the grill. I came into his house. We live in a society where everyone is a victim. Kids, they no longer grow up aspiring to be doctors and lawyers. Kids are growing up aspiring to be victims. Me and the wife, we watched this show on Netflix called Love is Blind. It's one of those shows where I wouldn't watch it by myself, but it's something that you watch with your wife and girlfriend. This past season, there was this girl on the show who ended up matching with this Gen Z dude. Dude's 28 years old, living with his parents. He's got a cat. To make matters worse, his mommy and daddy, they take care of the cat for him. They end up matching with each other, this Gen Z dude and this girl, and everything is great until they enter the next phase of the show where they have to live together. This girl is instantly turned off because she is matched with a beta male. Dude is helpless. This is no exaggeration. This dude could not boil water. Swear to God, couldn't boil water. Throughout the show, this girl is giving him the business. She is absolutely ruthless, and rightfully so. She is trying to do something that his parents failed to do. No disrespect to his parents, but she is trying to turn this boy into a man. For some reason, this girl has been destroyed by the mainstream media and by society for being a meanie. She was so mean to him. He didn't deserve that. He just wanted to play video games and pet Garfield. It was so uncalled for. She hurt his feelings. To hell with his feelings. We used to call that tough love. Now, society wants to victimize the 28-year-old boy who refuses to grow up and become a man. There are millions of single women desperate for a real man, but they're having a hard time finding one because this Gen Z generation is a generation filled with boys. Anyway, credit to Sean McDonough and Greg McElroy for being willing to call out this overwhelming softness in football. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent here. I'm sick. I really don't feel well, so I'm already bitter. But at the same time, I really am tired of the softness. I am tired of this victim culture. I'm tired of the whining and complaining. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I have turned into the get off my lawn guy under 40 years old, but give me your thoughts. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you tomorrow on the main channel.